You know, it all hit me like a freight train that rainy afternoon in late September when I pulled up to our old lodge in the misty Oregon woods, the place I'd inherited from my grandpa, where I'd proposed to my wife Sarah under those towering pines, and where her sudden stroke 8 months back had shattered everything. Expecting nothing but quiet solitude after cutting short a coding gig in Portland, but instead walking into pure chaos with some stranger in our living room, streaming live on her phone, holding up Sarah's pearl necklace like it was auction bait. I froze in the doorway, heart slamming, as she turned with this eerie, calm smile, dressed in Sarah's favorite sundress, and said, smooth as silk, "Folks, this is why securing your empty homes matters. Looks like we've got an intruder demo right now," while her boyfriend sauntered out of our bedroom in just boxers, smirking like he owned the place. I yelled, "What the hell are you doing in my house? That's my wife's stuff. She passed here, and you're treating it like garage sale junk." But she just held up a finger, shushing me midstream, her voice dripping with fake authority. "Sir, calm down. I'm Victoria Hale, head of the Home Legacy Protection Network, educating my 50K followers on abandoned property risks. You left this spot vacant for 2 weeks, so we're assessing vulnerabilities, and honestly, you're the one trespassing now." That moment flipped my world upside down. I'd been clinging to this lodge as my lifeline, setting out 2 mugs each morning, whispering to Sarah's photo like she could hear, trying to code through the grief as a software engineer working remote. But Victoria's words cut deep, twisting my pain into some sick justification for her invasion, all because she craved that online clout and easy cash from exploiting folks like me, folks raw from loss and too trusting in small-town vibes. The cops showed up fast, Officer Jenkins, this burly guy with a badge and his own phone rolling, responding to her disturbance call, and I thought, finally, sanity. But he listened to her spiel about legitimate docs from some HOA-like group flagging empty homes, her eyes gleaming as she flashed papers that looked official enough to fool anyone, saying, "Officer, he's aggressive. Probably why properties like this get neglected." While I stammered out proof, my ID, the deed, Sarah's death cert, begging him to see the theft, the desecration of her ashes urn gone from the shelf, photos scattered like confetti. Jenkins scratched his head, more impressed by her follower count than my tears, muttering, "This seems civil, bud. Sort it with lawyers." His motive clear later. Side gigs for shout-outs on her streams, patting his ego and wallet in a town where badges sometimes bend for likes. Just then, the door creaked open, and in walked Lisa from the corner diner down the hill, balancing a tray of steaming coffees, her warm eyes widening at the mess. "Alex, oh honey, I saw the lights on weird and figured you might need a pick-me-up after your trip. What's all this?" Her timing like a godsend, vouching for me as the local who'd lost Sarah, the guy she'd chatted with over endless refills, sharing how Sarah had once confided our spare key spot under the porch planter in case I worked late. Lisa's words carried weight, humanizing me against Victoria's polished act. And Jenkins finally waved Victoria out, grumbling about disputes, leaving me shaking as she packed her gear with a smug wink, whispering, "Better secure next time or someone else will." Lisa stayed, helping gather Sarah's picks, her voice soft. "Alex, people like that prey on the hurting. We'll figure this out. You're not alone." And in that raw vulnerability, I leaned on her kindness, not knowing yet it was all a facade, her real drive rooted in years of honing scams on the grieving, turning empathy into a weapon for profit. But as we searched for Sarah's ashes, gone, just vanished, that knot in my gut tightened, and I remembered the hidden cams I'd wired in after some local break-ins, 6 obvious ones for show, but the 7th tucked in the vent fan, hardwired, silent, capturing everything. Pulling up the app with Lisa hovering, the footage unspooled like a horror flick. Victoria waltzing in hours after I'd left for Portland, hauling bags, rotating guys through our bed, the very spot Sarah took her last breath, while listing it online as Whispering Pines Retreat, authentic lost journey for $350 a night, fake reviews gushing about feeling the departed's peace, all phantom bookings raking in $2,800 without a soul staying, her streams auctioning Sarah's journal entries, her scarves, even reading aloud Sarah's fears about dying alone, monetizing our private hell for lessons on emotional security. The betrayal burned. Victoria wasn't random. She'd stalked obits, targeted widows like me, driven by greed masked as education, but deeper. a twisted thrill in profiting off pain, her followers lapping it up without a clue. Digging further, neighbor Pete down the path acted shifty, snapping pics of my lodge like a spy, and when pressed, he crumbled, admitting Victoria hired him for an appraisal under her bogus forest legacy services, paying $700 to map vulnerabilities. Doors, keys, the works, thinking it helped overwhelmed folks. His slip revealing she'd known my schedule, my isolation, because someone fed her intel. That's when doubts crept in about Lisa. Her visits tallying 52 in 8 months, always spot on after my breakdowns. Her diner card stamped before Sarah's stroke, hinting she'd been circling us pre-tragedy. Her concern, a calculated hook to burrow in. Motivated by a dark partnership where she played the comforter, building trust to strip assets later. The escalation hit like thunder when I spotted Lisa fiddling with that familiar silver band on her finger. Sarah's old promise ring, vanished months before the stroke, engraved with our inside joke eternal brew from our coffee date days. And when I asked casual like, "Nice ring, family heirloom?" Her eyes darted, voice too rehearsed. "Oh, yeah, Grandma's. Fragile, gotta run," bolting like I'd lit a fuse. Alone, I tore through Sarah's jewelry box, confirming the thefts, then hacked my own feeds deeper. Lisa planting bugs during check-ins, tracking my truck, logging my keystrokes, isolating me from Sarah's kin with "he's fragile" updates, her motive unfolding as the heart handler in Victoria's ring, engineering dependencies on the vulnerable but worst, audio of her coaxing Sarah during illness visits, posing as a wellness volunteer, pushing herbal boosts that clashed with meds, spiking the stroke that killed her, not fate, but murder to prime me for max grief. Easy pickings for their scams netting $350K over years. Officer Jenkins in pocket for $1,800 monthly. Coaching on dodging charges. That revelation crushed me. Sarah's trusting voice on tape, thanking Lisa for saving her energy, while I blamed myself for not noticing. And fury boiled, not wild, but cold, strategic. My coding skills turning the tables as I faked a wellness getaway to Idaho, showing Lisa bogus emails, watching her push it eagerly. "Go heal. I'll watch the lodge." Her eyes hungry for the score. I left, parked miles off, hiked back hidden new undetectable cams rolling, their win party a confessional bonanza. Lisa, Victoria, Jenkins toasting with our saved anniversary wine, spilling ops on 15 victims, psych profiles, expansion to vet families, Lisa boasting. Alex was textbook, killed the wife slow to amp his isolation, easy to gatekeep. Her laugh chilling as she admitted accelerating Sarah's end for the vulnerability window. Jenkins nodding. Covered the reports perfect. Next state's ripe. I compiled it all into a raw vid expose, how they slayed my Sarah and played my pain, dropping it viral at dawn, views exploding to 4 million in hours, outrage flooding, victims surfacing, Saya lost leeches trending, diner shuttered by mobs, streams nuked, Jenkins badged out. Feds swooped. Lisa life for murder. Victoria, 22 years fraud. Jenkins 10 for corruption. Network crumbling across states. Laws tightening on grief grifts. Community rallied, restoring the lodge, planting Sarah's garden with her reclaimed ashes. Volunteers sifting the dump till we had enough for peace. And I donated hauls to anti-predator funds, finding closure and protecting others. But 6 months on, as fog lifted, a call from Idaho detectives about mimic scams on logger families, mentioning Sarah's files in their hall, whispering, "Mr. Thompson, her records show anomalies. Want to dig deeper?" Left me staring at her photo, wondering if some truths bury best or if chasing them honors her more. What do you think? Was exposing them justice enough? Or did I blur lines becoming the hunter? Share your take below. Have you faced betrayal and grief? Or think communities enable this? Drop comments like if it stirred you. Subscribe for more raw truths.